Hi, and welcome to another episode of Soft Signal. Uh, my name is Varun. I'm joined as always by Aditya. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, not too bad as always. It's a weekend, so it's good. It's a long
Yeah,
weekend for you, so it's very good.
I know.
And what's coming up in cricket? There's India England that's coming up. What 5 weeks from now? But before that, there's India versus Sri Lanka. Another India versus Sri Lanka, although it's gotten less common now. But
Yeah,
something to look forward to.
or is it India B versus Sri Lanka, as has come out in the media recently by a very prominent, probably
Yes.
the greatest captain of Sri Lanka. But we'll talk about that later. But as you said, we're both doing really well. Someone who isn't doing really well for a long time is Sri Lanka cricket. And that was what we wanted to talk about in this week's episode. So, where do we start? I think it's just there's a great piece by a Sri Lankan journalist who writes for Cricket Info called his name is Andrew Fernando, and I will link it in the description for his video. And he's actually covered the whole thing beautifully. But basically, Sri Lanka cricket since 2015 has been on a downward spiral, and I think they're at their ultimate low. They just played a series in England where they've lost the first ODI, or maybe first two. They lost the T20 series convincingly, and yeah, it's just a complete mess. Do you want to try to make some sense of it? I was trying to get some kind of intro, but I don't know where to start with Sri Lanka.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that how badly they've or how much they've declined in the last uh, 3 or 4 years. It's unbelievable, and they don't seem to be able to get out of this slump. It's like usually when teams get so bad, they are probably bad overseas and against really tough opposition. But Sri Lanka has gotten so bad that they're bad at home. Even Bangladesh is capable of beating them easily, and they've done that as well in the past. And honestly, Bangladesh has not really shown so much improvement in 20 years. So it's like Bangladesh's level has increased a little bit
Yeah.
versus what they were 20 years ago. But Sri Lanka's level has dropped so much in the last 3 4 years that they've kind of gone even below Bangladesh. So that's the level of drop in Sri Lanka's cricket, and it's really scary because they don't seem to have any answers to as to how to revive it.
Yeah, I think I don't know if you assumed that already when you said they're worse than Bangladesh, but they're worse than Afghanistan also.
Yeah,
I think they're comfortably the worst team in Asia now, which is they won the 2014 Asia Cup. I think they were like and they were such a strong team up to 2015, and it's a mixture of politics and there's a lot of this is selection issues. There's issues with first class cricket. But it's so sad to see the decline because like growing up for us when we started watching cricket, it was a nightmare team because they would just thrash India, especially in those Sharjah matches where they would uh, pile on up to 300 or something, and then they would just get us out within 120. And like, so those memories, and then they had so many great players through the years, like Sangakkara, Jayawardene, Murli, Malinga, Chaminda Vas, even. So where have all this? How has there been such a sudden drop in quality? Like how I understand generational changes, like when great players retire, it happened to Australia, it happened to an extent with India as well. But how has there not been enough to uh, shore up that gap?
yeah. I think there's obviously a problem in the domestic structure in Sri Lanka. I'm not an expert on their domestic structure, but what I remember is, a few years ago, or probably not a few years ago now, but 8 to 10 years ago, there used to be the CPL or the Champions League of Cricket,
Yeah,
not the football one, but the cricket one, where the top T20 sides from all domestic T20 competition would play a tournament. So from India, you'd have the top IPL sides like Mumbai Indians or CSK, And then you would also get the top
Yeah.
T20 sides from Sri Lanka's domestic cricket. And even back then, there was a clear gap between the level of quality of these T20 teams that coming out of Sri Lanka versus the quality of the T20 teams in other nations.
Yeah.
So that actually is what I remember when I think about Sri Lanka domestic structure. It's the quality is just not there. And obviously the structure was probably working 20 to 25 years ago, which is how they produced some really good players. But I probably think that structure has not been overhauled or sort of refreshed. It's still running in an archaic fashion. There's obviously politics involved, as you said, because the Sri Lanka cricket is at the end of the day run by the president of Sri Lanka, who I think who takes part in selection, who takes part in the infrastructural development of cricket in Sri Lanka. So how can you mix this with politics? There's obviously going to be a problem, right? So I think it's a combination of these two factors that have sort of prevented good players from being groomed and flourishing or being developed. And and obviously when that happens, you don't have enough bench strength to replace the greats. So there's not going to be another Murli, there's not going to be another Sangakara or Jayavardhana. There's clearly not not going to be another Chaminda Vas. I mean, they don't have any great players who are coming through the ranks. So it's obviously a problem with the structure. If they don't address that structure, it's going to continue. The decline is only going to continue. So there's really a problem there, and it's sad to see Sri Lanka in this state. And actually, as you said, it's sad to see them as the worst team in Asia at the moment.
Yeah, and I wonder if the political interference that you said, right? Maybe that has something to do with, because my thought was that why wouldn't Sangakkara or any of the greats try to step in and try to revive Sri Lankan cricket, maybe through coaching the in as coaches, or even like getting involved with the junior levels like how Dravid has done in India. But I think it's they probably just don't bother. It's sad to see Mahela's coaching Mumbai Indians. I mean, it's good, but he could where when his own country is in such a bad way. Murali Saran also I think is with in the IPL somewhere. Don't hear much from any of their former cricketers otherwise. Yes, perhaps they just don't want to bother with it because I
Yeah.
can't understand why they wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? I mean, even if they have a will to coach Sri Lanka, maybe the politics is just too much to overcome. And then, of course, at that stage, the individual will obviously look at himself to take or look at his own well-being, right, to
Yeah.
decide on what to do next. And clearly, these guys are better off not coaching Sri Lanka if that's the case. Uh, but it's really sad. I mean, Sangakkara is on commentary in this Sri Lanka England series, right? He's,
Yeah.
he's he's commentating on that series, and I heard a clip where Michael Atherton actually asked him if this is the worst or if this is the best Sri Lanka team that Sri Lanka can put up at the moment. And Sangakkara's answer was, "Yeah, I guess if they're playing for Sri Lanka, that probably must be the best." So that is sad. If it is true, then it is sad. If it is not true, then obviously it is due to politics.
Yeah. Or maybe he doesn't even know. That just shows maybe
It
he's that
is-
disconnected from the state of the game. And like even Rub, like I don't know if you read those three players, Dick Vela
Yeah,
and a couple of I think Kusal Mendes and one more. They were out partying, or
yeah,
not. They were just roaming the streets of
yeah, yeah.
Durham, which is would be okay. But they broke the COVID bubble, and it's so irresponsible, right?
Very
It's
irresponsible.
just one thing, things getting worse one after the other. It's just
Yeah,
bad.
exactly. I mean, as international cricketers, you cannot afford to do that, right? You're setting an example but you're not setting a good example for the others, and plus, you are not sort of setting, you're not helping the image of your country either. So, as
Yeah.
international cricketers, they need to keep all these things in mind. So, yeah, it it was quite a shocker to see them just breach the bubble like that, and then I think they got what they deserved. They've been banned for 1 year.
Oh,
Uh,
are they? That's good.
yeah, they've been banned for 1 year. And it's a serious thing, right? I mean, COVID has gripped the world, and everybody is responsible to ensure that they don't sort of make it worse. And if you breach a bio bubble, you're putting a lot of people at risk.
Yeah,
And then, of course, you're putting the larger population of that particular country at risk as well. So honestly, it was not a good thing that they did, and I think they got justly punished for it. Um, the thing is that, in my opinion, Niroshan Dikwella is one of their better players in that team. Now he's gone, so that's again like a drop in quality. Kushal Mendes apparently has a lot of potential, but the guy has not really scored too many runs, right?
yeah.
I was reading an article the other day that said he's got like 5 ducks in his last 20 innings or something like this. So really, yeah, there's
Yeah,
something terribly wrong with Sri Lanka cricket.
yeah. I want to read a line from Andrew Fernando's piece because it's just hilarious. Talking about these three players. So he says today its players are being sent home from a tour of England after breaching the team's bio bubble. Three players, to be exact, which you suspect is also the number of brain cells that had been collectively harnessed when the decision to make a break for it was made. I
Yes.
think that is beautiful writing and also just thumbs up the current situation.
Yeah, exactly. No, it sums it up perfectly. Yeah, I agree. It's
And
really
then
sad.
yeah, and maybe now with the three players dropped, Sri Lanka has also become a B team. So Arjuna Ranatunga can be uh, happy. But any you want to address those comments at all? I personally think they're completely ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But they're totally ridiculous. I mean, what Arjuna Ranatunga is probably not realizing is that India's B team or India's second string team is going to beat this current Sri Lanka team anyways,
Yeah,
right? It's pretty obvious it's going to happen. It's not like it's an India B team playing against the likes of Sangakkara and Jayawardena and Murli. No, it's not. It's actually a a much worse team,
yeah,
a much worse Sri Lanka team than that team of the early 2000s and mid and 2010s. So
and at least wait for the series to get over. It. If by
yeah,
some miracle they win it, or even win it convincingly, then say that yeah, maybe this was an
yeah,
insult. First of all, I don't see what the insult is. I think we have too much. People have too much ego for no reason as well.
yeah. I mean, it's not an insult simply because there's COVID going around now. There's
Yeah,
quarantine everywhere, so clearly they have to send one team to the UK well in advance, and
yeah,
they have to send another team to Sri Lanka. The point is that Arjuna Ranatunga needs to understand that if that series had not happened, then Sri Lanka cricket loses more revenue
yeah,
than the BCCI, right? So in a way, Sri Lanka needs that series to happen, even if it's a second string Indian team.
yeah. And he's saying they did it for television money, and yeah, but then it's good. You need money to run and to improve the
Exactly.
state of the game. As
Exactly.
much as we want to say, people say it's a game that's more important, which is fine, but money is needed. So it's all a bit of
Exactly.
rubbish.
Exactly.
All right, enough of bashing. I mean, it's unfortunate. I hope they can somehow revive their cricket because there's very few teams which are good anymore, like at the top level. So we need strong, like especially teams which have always been strong. It's would be nice to see them competitive again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point because
But
there are just too many weak teams. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, but talking about strong Sri Lanka, we are going to just switch over and do a quick quiz on Sporkle.com about Sri Lanka cricket. I'm just going to switch over and share my screen so you will now look at the quiz screen, and we'll also put the link to the quiz in the description in case you want to play it as well. Right. So the quiz that we're going to do today is, can you name Sri Lanka's cricket top tens across all three formats? Ironically made by someone called India Cricket Fan. Uh, and the idea is just to uh, give the top 10. It's in descending order of all of these different categories, and this is across all formats. So that's one thing to remember. It's not. I'm assuming most. So it's 27,000 runs. Obviously, no one has made them in one format, so it's going to be across all three. So if you're ready, should we start?
Yeah, let's start.
Okay, great. So I think we're going to be overlapping. So let's put in Sangakkara, Jayawardene. Hope we don't get them all in the first.
Yeah. Muralidharan,
Murli, De Silva.
Vas, Tunga, Vas. Okay, this is filling up really fast, by the way.
Yeah, we're halfway there. Dilshan.
Okay, Dilshan, Atapa 2.
So we need just one more for the I think that's Matthews, right? Should be.
Probably.
Yes, one
Yeah.
category.
Yeah.
Done.
There's Malinga somewhere in there, I guess.
Oh yeah. Basically, this quiz is name a Sri Lankan cricketer.
Exactly. Okay. Maybe now it'll start getting a little interesting.
Chandimal.
Oh wow, Chandimal's in there as well.
Okay.
Okay, so highest scores are done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scores are done. Most runs is almost done. I think who's this guy? Who could that be? We did De Silva. Could it
So
be?
most runs, De Silva we did. You remember that guy, Guru Singha?
Yeah, I don't know the spelling.
Okay. Roshan Mahanama.
Oh, no.
He was there most catch.
Tilakaratne, right? Harshan Tilakaratne.
Tilakaratne. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that would be him. It's not him.
Yeah. There's someone who scored more runs than Chandimal. The-
And he's not playing anymore because they are currently playing. They have this asterisk.
Right.
So Mendes, Ajanta Mendes.
Ajanta Mendes. Amal Silva. No idea who that is. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe okay. Most runs. What about most hundreds? Maybe we can bank. We can keep most runs away for the moment.
Yeah. I
Most
think Herat
hundreds.
will put because he will be in a
There are,
bunch.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Most hundreds. 1800s across formats. 1600 across formats. Who are the other? Kalu with the
Yeah, you can try. It'll probably be in dismissal of keepers. Yeah. Um. Okay. Kalu with Bhushan Mahanama. Thilan Samaravira.
Samaravira will be there. That's the guy. Oh, but
Probably.
he's still
Oh,
not the
okay.
9,000. Wow.
Interesting.
Who was in
Okay.
the score? It was Jayasurya. Did we put Jayasurya, right? Yeah.
So
Guruseya, De Silva.
Ranutunga, Tilakaratna, sorry, Hashan Tilakaratna, Roshan Mahanama,
Oh, is it Russell Arnold, maybe?
Russell Arnold, maybe, yeah.
Oh, he's not in any.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
Okay. What about
Voice. Let's look. I'm just thinking of some bowlers. Fernando.
yeah. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, that was my phone going
Worries.
in the middle
That
of
was a
the
phone a friend that we were trying.
Okay. Okay, so give me a moment. Are you projecting your screen still?
Yes.
I see it. Yeah, okay, okay. Okay, so where were we? Okay, Zoisa. So best bowling average.
Someone who's still
Who
playing.
was
Udana. Who are the bowlers? Lakmal, right? And then
Lakmal? I think you've got Lakmal there. There's Chamira, Dushmanta Chamira.
there's Hasaranga.
Sorry. Embuldenia.
Oh, we're going to struggle with this last one, but it's man. Anyway, Vikramasinghe, right? Was the bowler?
Pramod Vikramasinghe.
The
Yes.
problem is I'm not 100% sure of the spelling.
Her name.
I
What the
think
spelling?
it's somewhere.
What about try Pereira? Because there were many Pereiras. Oh, there he is. He was in most ducks, Vikramasinghe.
Yeah.
Pereira, there's no Pereira. Okay,
No, Silva, Mendes, Pereira, I tried.
but not even Thisara Pereira. No,
Cesar Pereira is here in the
no,
most.
he's there. Okay,
I don't know who this. Look, I'm assuming this is the same person. The 18th
yeah,
century,
probably
8,000 runs, and we're going to kick ourselves when we get.
when you get the answer because it's going to be pretty obvious. Um, who have been their good opener? What about Karuna Ratna? I don't think.
Okay, he was there in the batting. Oh, could it be Taranga?
Ah, yes, Upul Taranga. Yes.
Yes, finally.
Upul Taranga has got 9,000 runs across formats. Surprising.
Yeah, he might have got like 4,000, 3,000, and then.
Yeah.
Okay, so the top thing is fully done. We need to now focus on this.
Okay, so most wickets. Mullidharan was Fernando. Mm,
Malinga, we did.
yeah, he's in there.
Any spinners?
Chandana, Upul Chandana.
Yes. Oh,
No, he's not.
Dharmasena.
Dharmasena, the umpire.
Neither of them are there. I was surprised. Uh,
Mm,
I remember one old Sri Lankan cricketer. I've just heard this name, so I'm just going to put it there.
Umesh Ratnayake.
And then
Dilip,
let's think of
Dilip
commentators. Ranjit Fernando,
Fernando. What
obviously.
about Mendes? Dilip Mendes.
Yeah, but when this will
You
be
already tried. Oh yeah, you tried with Mendes. Okay. Most
12.
5 wicket hauls in an innings. Okay.
I don't know who their keepers or maybe these two might be people from before 96. Because
Yeah.
honestly, pre 96, I don't know anything about Sri Lanka cricket.
Neither do I. There used to be that guy, right?
There was Prasanna Jayawardene, but we put
Never.
Jayawardene already.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I'm curious about this guy who's got 313 wickets.
Yeah, across formats, but still, that's a lot of wickets.
Still, that's a lot of wickets because it's just below Jayasuriya. Um,
I was thinking it could be Dilshan, but Dilshan we already put. Soisa, Fernando, Vikramasinghe, Vas, Herath, Murli. Oh, any other fast bowlers? Man, I can't. Because this is someone who's retired also, so.
exactly. Soisa, Vas, Fernando. Uh,
Oh, man.
okay, I just cannot remember this. Didn't they have a not a slingy fast bowler, but
It put Matthews.
mm,
All rounders.
we tried Upul Chandana.
Yeah, we tried Upur Chandana, we tried Dharmasena, we tried Russell Arnold. Unless Dharmasena is spelled differently. So I'm missing,
Most 5 wicket hauls in an innings. So there's someone with 6 who's still playing.
We tried Udana, Chamira, and uh, Lakmal.
The thing is, they've got so many. Who is
Like
that guy with
Damika Prasad.
the long hair?
Is
Nuwan
Dam-
something.
I think this the Damika Prasad is a player, right?
Yeah, try Damika. No, that didn't work either.
What the
There
hell?
is a guy with longish hair. I forget his name. Nuwan something. Not Zoisa. Hmm.
Kulasekara. That's not the one,
Yeah,
but it could be
this
Kula.
is probably Kula Sekra. 313.
Oh,
No.
wait. I'm spelling it wrong. Kulasekara.
Yes.
Yes. Hang on.
So Kula Sekra is okay. Fine. But there is another guy with longish hair, but I don't know. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, highest batting average 37. Not a great average. Oh, I don't know. Arvinda's average is so low. Uh,
Okay, so minimum 1,000 runs.
we started this so well. I thought we would end it in 2 minutes. Uh,
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get everything because there's best bowling averages as well.
yeah, and this
There's
wicket
someone
keeper,
with
I don't think we'll
Yeah,
get.
there's someone with 27.9 who's still playing. I'm pretty sure that is the guy with the 5 wicket hauls, with 6 5 wicket hauls.
That was Embuldenia or Hasaranga, right?
But it's minimum 50 wickets, right? So I think Embul Denia has not played that much.
Let's
They
see how
have
Sri
Dil,
Lanka's.
who are their spinners? Dilruwan Pereira. There is
We should put for yeah.
we tried Pereira, no? We tried all the spellings of Pereira as well, I think.
Gunathilaka. Let's try. Who was the Sri Lankans who have played in the IPL other than the big guys?
Suraj Randeep,
Yeah, it could be. He could be there somewhere. No. Bandara.
Malinga Bandara, Jeevan Mendes, but we tried Mendes. Um,
And there could have been some guys who have played in the like. I'm actually feeling worse that we're not getting people who are not playing anymore because current team, I would
yeah,
like.
exactly. Mm, mm, mm.
You wanna just stop it? I don't know if we're gonna get it within
So
3 minutes.
let's try to rack up brains for like what's it, 3 more minutes.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the guy with 27.93 average and 6 5 wicket hauls in an innings. It's not Chamira, right? We tried Dusmanta Chamira.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is that guy, man? I cannot remember the guy's name. I have his face. I cannot remember his name.
Was it Pradeep?
Yes, Nuwan Pradeep. Nuwan Pradeep. That's the guy.
Oh, he's not there.
Are you serious? But
That's
is it the spelling? Is it DIP maybe?
no, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Well, at least you remembered.
Yes, at least I remember the name. There's
There
no
was a guy called Eranga, right? Who used to play.
Shaminda Iranga. Yes. There was Velagedra. Chanaka Velagedra. No. We tried Damika Prasad, right?
Yeah. Akila Dhananjaya.
Ah, yes.
He's
Yes.
the guy I think you were talking about, right? Who's taken all the 5 wickets.
Yeah, it's the same guy. Yeah, 27.93 and 6.
Wait, someone has taken 5 wicket hauls 5 times and is a past player. I don't know anyone.
Try
Maruf
Maharoof, yes.
is quite average though. But
Try
he's the best player in today's squad. Yeah, tell me.
Try Tharindu Kaushal. I remember him taking a 5 wicket against haul against India. Okay, so what are we missing? We're just missing that.
And
And
then this bowling, these two keepers. Yeah, Gunawardhan. Let's try. There was this guy. He had played in the 2003.
okay, um, okay, I don't know. Now I'm out of any names. I don't think I can get any more names now.
Yeah, I think let's 38 seconds. We did really well. We got
Yeah,
only six left.
yeah. I'm curious to
Let's
see
give
those
it.
names.
Yeah, I
Ashanta Dimel. Guy the Advis, Pugudu Dasanaika, Michael Van Dort.
Michael Van Dort, I have heard
I
of
remember
him.
Michael Van Dort. And then there is Thilan Tushara, okay, and Sachitra Senanaika. So Sachitra Senanaika actually played in the IPL for KKR.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Alright.
And Thilan Tushara was like this left arm bowler. Right? I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember it.
but not bad, huh?
Not bad, yeah.
But, we got 95% plus 5% for identifying Novan Pradeep. So we get the 100%. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the person with the long hair. But that was a lot of fun. I think it's always fun to do these quizzes, right? Because you go down memory,
Yeah,
just try to. Initially, it felt like, oh wow, we're just gonna get this in 2 minutes, and then reality set in.
yeah, exactly. But I've never even heard of those wicket keepers on that list. The last
Yeah,
two names, never heard of them.
they're probably pre 96, I think.
Probably. Yeah.
Because I mean, I think you would have at least come across these names if they would have been somewhat familiar if we had um, they had played some cricket since we started watching. But yeah, thanks. That was a lot of fun, and I think we're gonna wrap up this episode here. I hope you enjoyed our talk. It, we just more than trying to be negative. It's more like a lament about like why is this happening, and it should really get better.
Hopefully for Sri Lanka, it will get better soon,
Yeah,
and hopefully it doesn't become a case like West Indies, right?
yeah.
Because West
But
Indies never
Sri Lanka
really.
are not even good at T20.
Yeah, exactly. At least West Indies never became a good ODI or Test side again. But
Yeah,
at least, yes, you're right. They're at least good at T20. Sri Lanka isn't even good at
yeah.
that.
So we're hoping they have a good structure. They have a really good, strong history, at least past 25 years, 20 years. So they should be good. But yeah, thanks again for watching. And we will be back next week with a preview of some actual cricket, India versus Sri Lanka. And we'll see you then.
See you then.